Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more coming and latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel, as always, some big breaking news is coming out in relation to Ole Gunnar Solsjaker. Reportedly he's set to be Manchester United manager on a permanent basis this month, reportedly, because Manchester United do want to confirm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as our full-time manager this month, reportedly. And obviously with the international break coming up very, very soon, I think Manchester United, will come to an agreement, of giving Solskjaer the job on a full-time basis, and it will process, during the international break as well. But I think, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserves a job on a full-time basis, based on his fantastic progression he's done so far since he's come to the club. Regardless of the defeat to Arsenal, he's still done an absolutely amazing job as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. To be fair, he's got us to last day of the FA Cup. He's obviously, got us to last day the Champions League as well. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's one of his most iconic moments now as a manager was obviously, the club's history, in the Champions League. Obviously, when he was a player, one of his most iconic moments, was in the Champions League as well back in 1999, 20 years ago as well. Obviously, we still know that investment is definitely, needed into Manchester United in the summer. So we do want to see some new additions, coming to the club in the summer as well. But he's getting the best out of the players, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I do think he's definitely, the right man for Manchester United. I think he can elevate this team forward. He can get us in that commanding position, and I think he can get us back to being a competitive elite level football club. If we can get some signs in the summer, I do believe that Manchester United, can be up there, competing, challenging for trophies, and I do believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, can start winning trophies. To be quite honest with you, because since he's coming in, he's made history in the Champions League as a manager. He made history in the Premier League as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he's done an absolutely terrific job, as I currently said, as Solskjaer. As the Mirror was reporting, was it quite a few weeks ago? Well, I think it was last week, or something like that. As I did give you an update on, Manchester United were set to have contract negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I do reportedly, according to the Mirror, his contract is going to be a 4-year contract. I think it's going to be worth around £30 million, as it does. It's going to be worth around £30 million, as you'll explain. I think there's currently bonuses involved as well, reportedly, but it's going to be worth around £30 million. It's going to be a 4-year contract. His annual salary is going to be around £7.5 million, as it does explain. So he's happy to accept a lower wage package than currently what Jose Mourinho was on, because obviously Jose Mourinho was on £15 million a year. So Solskjaer is going to be receiving reportedly half of the wages than what currently, Jose Mourinho was currently earning as well. But obviously he's getting a huge pay rises, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, compared to what he was on at Mold, because he was on like £400,000 a year at Mold, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. So Manchester United are hopeful, that we can name him full time, that we can give him the job permanently this month. So by the time we play Watford in the Premier League, which is on the 30th, I think, of March, at the end of this month, Solskjaer should be Manchester United manager permanently as well, which is very, very good news indeed. He also did confirm his contractual situation with his former club Mold. He did say that his contract term had expired with Mold, and this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer currently said, that his contract term had expired with Mold, because obviously he believes that he can't have two contracts and all that, even though initially Mold did announce a couple of weeks before he came to Manchester United that he'd just agreed a new 3-year deal with Mold as well. But Mold did say he's still reportedly under contract with them until 2021 as well, and this is what was basically said. But Solskjaer's done a really, really good job. It's good that he's got belief in the young players as well. The young players again, his trust. We do expect departures in the summer as well. Of course, contract renewals we still need to address as well. But Solskjaer's getting the best out of these players, and I think he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy, as I did say. He's got his little own philosophy, but I think he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy, and he's brought the good feel factor back, to Manchester United as well, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I think he's definitely, the right man for Manchester United. Hasn't really proven himself yet as a manager. He hasn't got a great managerial pedigree in terms of like winning like any major honours or out, but I think that is to definitely come in the future as well. But we've done really, really well. We've only lost one game in the Premier League. We've won 14 out of 18 in all competitions. We've had 2 draws, 2 defeats, but we've only lost one game in the Premier League, as I currently said. So it's looking likely Solskjaer will get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, which is very, very good news indeed. And he knows everything about the club anyway. He's a great, great player for 11 years under Alex Ferguson, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Great, great player for 11 years. He scored 126 goals as a player. player. He won trophies, including like 6 Premier League titles and all that as well. And Solskjaer's done a really good job. And I can't criticise his tactics. Obviously, he's done a really good job. Considering the amount of injuries we've had, considering that we didn't invest in the January transfer window as well. He's done an absolutely terrific job. So you can't knock him. I think he's the right man for Manchester United, and he's set to be a Manchester United manager on a full-time basis this month, as reports do mention him as well. So obviously, Man United will have more extensive talks during the international break, and then hopefully it will process and it will come to an agreement as well, which is a very good news indeed. But reflecting on the Arsenal game, as I currently said, Solskjaer did confirm, he analysed the game, against Arsenal. He was disappointed with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was disappointed with the result, but I think he was actually happy with the performance with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because obviously, considering that we still had injuries, we saw some players come back from injury, but obviously, we still had 7 players out for the game against Arsenal. I was confident going into the game, to be quite honest, considering the good run of form of being under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we've been very good away from home, but we know how good Arsenal have been at the Emirates this season. They've played really well, and it's been a fortress in the Premier League this season as the Emirates, because they've only lost 1 game at the Emirates this season of Arsenal, so we knew it was going to be a difficult game. Obviously we'd won our 2 previous visits to the Emirates, before we actually played them on Sunday as well. But as I did say, I was pretty impressed, with the performance. After 25 minutes, we came back into the game. I know Arsenal dominated the first 20 to 25 minutes, to be quite honest with you. They came straight out of the blocks. They were creating chances. They were leading the lines well. They were exposing our back line, far too easily as well. They were sustaining attacks. They were winning every second ball. They were first to every ball as well. In the opening 20-25 minutes, because we looked very lethargic, especially in that midfield. I think Matic slowed that midfield down. He looked very ineffective in that midfield, didn't Nemanja Matic? But obviously he's just recovered from injury as Nemanja Matic. So basically in that scenario, you've got to understand that he just recovered from injury. Martial didn't start the game, but he came on later on in the second half as well. But as I did say, Solskjaer would pinpoint them big chances that Manchester United had in the game as well. We had about 5 big chances. Lukaku should have had at least 2 goals. Lukaku, I think, had 3 big chances. Lukaku at the crossbar, Fred at the post in the first half as well. And I thought our best player on the pitch, was definitely, Romelu Lukaku, to be quite honest. And I think him and Rashford as a partnership, look very good together. And I think Lukaku looks more effective, when he's playing alongside someone, because he's a better player, Lukaku, when he's getting that support up front, because he's reliable to make more of them sprints. He can get them runs in behind when he's got that support up front as well. So I think Lukaku does look better up front, with Marcus Rashford as well. We do know that there's been rumours of Lukaku possibly leaving Manchester United in the summer as well. It may be hard for us to recoup that initial £75 million, as I said, but he's been in great run of form lately as Romelu Lukaku. He just seems to bottle it, against the big teams, as we all know, but he's still got a really good pedigree in the Premier League as Romelu Lukaku, as I currently said. So for me, he was the best player on the pitch. Rashford had quite a good game, to be honest. So he was getting some runs in behind. He was causing problems at times as well. He had a couple of chances of his own, did Marcus Rashford as well. But as I did currently say, it just wasn't our day. As I did say, I don't think the penalty was a penalty, to be quite honest. I think Lacazette, went down far too easily, in the second half as well. People will say, in relation to David De Gea, he really should have done better with that Xhaka shot, but I think Xhaka actually, wrong-footed David De Gea, and this is actually why it went into the back of the net in the first 12 minutes. He actually swirled, did the ball as well, as I currently said. But yeah, it was a disappointing result, as I currently said. Arsenal just shaded it over the course of the 90 minutes as well. I did say, before the game, didn't I, it could be crucial for our top 4 ambitions, of course, as well, because there's quite a few teams, going for that top 4 now. I did say it won't be fully decisive who finishes in the top 4, because there's still quite a few games left to go in the season, as I currently said, so anything could happen, as I currently said. But as I did currently say, it was a disappointing result, as I said. Arsenal have been in a good run of form, at the Emirates Stadium this season, to be quite honest with you. But of course, from Manchester United, my perspective of Manchester United fan, it is essential that we either get top 4, obviously, so we can get in Champions League for next season, obviously have a more competitive summer transfer window, or obviously, win the Champions League. So obviously, if we win the Champions League, we don't need top 4, because obviously we'll get into Champions League for next season. But I win the Champions League, and in that aspect, we'll invest quite a bit more money as well. And of course, hopefully we can still win the FA Cup as well. So we're having a really good season, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has took the mantle on the mantle on of the club as well. Arsenal would have been very delighted, to be quite honest, because Unai Emery, it's only his first season. Obviously, he's still in the process of rebuilding him. Of course, well, it's only his first season. I think he got like 5 players in there last summer. Did Umran May as well, so he hasn't really spent that much. Umran May as manager, and he's done a really, really good job. They went 22 games unbeaten all season. Of course, they have got a good team. Obviously, Arsenal still know that investment is needed into their team. They definitely still need a central defender, of course, and I do think Aubameyang and Lacazette are very, very good. There's a strong partnership, to quite honest. I think they look very, very effective. They lead the lines, they score goals, and all that as well. And Aubameyang and Lacazette are really, really good, and they've done really, really well for Arsenal. I think, Ozil as well, he's getting more into the team. Mesut Ozil is getting more into the team now, more regularly as well, because obviously throughout the course of the season, actually Mesut Ozil, to be quite honest with you, Mesut Ozil, has been constantly dropped. He's had a couple of injuries and all that as well, and that's why there was speculation of him leaving in the January transfer window. But as most recent, Umran May has been selecting Mesut Ozil, and he's getting his way back into the team. And Ozil's loyal to Arsenal. He said he loves Arsenal. He wants to remain loyal to Arsenal. He doesn't want to leave Arsenal. And obviously Arsenal want to see the best of him. They want to see him playing, because obviously he's on £350,000 a week. Is Mesut Ozil as well. So I thought he had a really, really good game. If I'm going to be quite honest, I thought the majority of the Arsenal players, put a good shift in. Xhaka, was immense in the midfield. If I'm going to be honest with you, Ramsey, played very, very well for Arsenal as well in the game. Even though he knows he's going to Juventus in the summer, Aaron Ramsey still played very, very well, and he's been a good servant to Arsenal. This is his 11th season with Arsenal. He's obviously going to Juventus in the summer. He's obviously going to be the highest British paid player, the second highest paid player, behind Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think he'll fit in the Juventus team very, very well. But he's grown, developed, and flourished over the years as Aaron Ramsey. This is his 11th season with Arsenal. And Arsenal will potentially, miss him, because he is a good box-to-box midfielder as well. But of course, Manchester United, of course, move on, from this Arsenal defeat now. We hopefully we won't lose our momentum, and hopefully, we can get back to winning ways against Wolves in the Cup on Saturday. We do know this is going to be a very, very difficult game, considering that Wolves have been in really, really good form this season. And I think since Nuno Santo has took over as Wolves manager, I think, Wolves have been very, very good, to be quite honest. They won the Championship last season, and they've come up into the Premier League this season, and the record against the big teams has been very, very good this season as Wolves, and he's done a really, really good job. He's got them to 7th in the table. He's got them to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup as well, and he's done a really, really good job at Wolves, to be quite honest with you. But we know this is not going to be easy, and they got a draw with us at Old Trafford earlier on in the season as well. They've just recently got a draw with Chelsea as well of Wolves, so the record against the big teams this season has looked really, really good indeed. So we know it's not going to be easy. As I currently said, I think the last time we played Wolves, was it at Molineux? Was it like, if I can remember right, was it like 7 years ago? Manchester United won comfortably by 5-0, and then before that was in 2011. And actually, Wolves in that year, I think it was 2011, were the team to end our unbeaten run. This was obviously under Alex Ferguson. They were first team to end our unbeaten run, because I think that season went unbeaten until February. I think we'd lost 2-1 to Wolves as well. But Wolves have had a really, really good season. Like you saw them knocking Liverpool out of the FA Cup as well. We've got them coming up soon as well in the league. Haven't heard much team news yet. I have been hearing some news that maybe Herrera could be in contention to play against Wolves as well, because Herrera's been out with a hamstring injury. There was news that he could have possibly featured against Arsenal, Herrera, but he didn't. But yeah, hopefully, if Herrera does come back, for the Wolves game, which I do hope, obviously they'll go with the midfield trio that mainly Solskjaer's been going with, when we haven't had, all them injuries and all that, he's been mainly going with Herrera, Pogba and Matic in that midfield, because they look very, very effective in that midfield as well. So Herrera's had a hamstring injury, and hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting Amanda Herrera a new contract at Manchester United, because he does deserve it, based on his fantastic performances, and I think he's been fitting in that midfield trio very, very well, of course, when he has been fully fit for Manchester United as well, under Herrera. Of course, he's really, really good at breaking up the play and all that. He's been fitting that midfield trio very, very well. He's been playing more regular, and I've always thought he's been a very, very consistent player since we got him from Bilbao, in 2014 as well. So this is his 5th season out at Manchester United. Reports coming out in relation to Juan Mata as well, saying he could be in line to feature against Wolves as well. Juan Mata, because obviously he's had a hamstring injury as well as Juan Mata, and I still know he's a very, very consistent player for Manchester United. Is Juan Mata, to be quite honest with you. I still really, really highly rate him, even though mainly, obviously when we haven't had all these string of injuries, mainly Juan Mata hasn't been first choice. We know mainly Lingard has been first choice over him. Obviously, when we haven't had when we haven't had all these string of injuries, and when Lingard's been fully fit. We know mainly Lingard's been first choice over Juan Mata, but when Juan Mata has played, I still think he's a very, very consistent player. He is aging up, he is 30, he has lost that yard of pace as Juan Mata, as we all currently know, and he has been in the Premier League a lot of years now, and he has won a lot of silverware, throughout his playing career so far. Juan Mata, he's yet to win the Premier League, of course, as well. So these reports coming out that he could feature against Wolves as well. In relation to Jesse Lingard, haven't heard much news about him yet. Maybe could he be in contention, to feature against Wolves? I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with you. He's out with a hamstring injury as well as Jesse Lingard, and we know he's still young in his generation. He's really, really good on that right when he's Jesse Lingard. Because he shows that ability to attack. He can provide, he can score goals, he can play balls, and I think he provides that width very, very well on that right hand side, just Jesse Lingard, and that's the main position he has been playing. When he has been playing under Ole Gunnar Solsjaker, Jesse Lingard, of course, when he has been fully fit as well. So he's still currently out with a hamstring injury, as we all know. Of course, as well, Alexis Sanchez. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is happy for actually Manchester United, to actually get rid of Alexis Sanchez in the summer. Reportedly, maybe we may inquire about maybe sending him out on loan. Alexis Sanchez, considering that it may be hard, to find a buyer, considering the extortionate wages he's currently receiving, because obviously he's on over £500,000 a week. Obviously, he's our highest paid player. Obviously, the highest paid player, I think, in English football as well is Alexis Sanchez. I think he's really, found it hard, to fit in the Manchester United team as Alexis Sanchez, to be quite honest. He's really, really found it hard to fit into Manchester United team. Of course, overall, when we haven't had this string of injuries, mainly Martial's been the first choice over Alexis Sanchez on that left. But when Sanchez has had the opportunity, I've just not been impressed with him at all. And I think he's definitely on his way out of the club, to be quite honest with you. He's aging up, he's lost that yard of pace, as I said, and he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal. Alexis Sanchez, I think Solskjaer's lost faith in him, he's lost trustworthy in Alexis Sanchez, and he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time here as Alexis Sanchez. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, he's been here just over a year. He's suffered quite a few injuries as well. He's suffered 2 previous hamstring injuries, before he's got this recent injury as well, and now he's obviously got a knee injury as Alexis Sanchez. So I think he's out for 4 to 6 weeks anyway, and I do think he'll end up losing that number 7 shirt anyway. And I think probably someone else could fulfill that number 7 shirt. To be quite honest with you, maybe even Martial, could get that number 7 shirt. To be quite honest, quite honest with you, I do think he's on his way out of Manchester United. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, as I said, and I think he'll go in the summer. Alexis Sanchez, he hasn't been impressive at all. Solskjaer's been getting the best out of these players. It's just Sanchez. His form hasn't been rejuvenated. He's been lacking goals and all that, and I just don't think he's fitting into the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer system, in my opinion, as well. But I do expect departures in the summer anyway. Of course, Darmian, is back in training as well, but I think Darmian's on his way out as well, because Darmian's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United, because he's been here since 2014, is it? Sorry, 2015. We got him from Torino for just over £12 million, and he's enjoyed a very, 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 very difficult time at Manchester United, as Matteo Darmian, of course, as well. He struggled to get in the team, and I think he's probably on his way out of Manchester United in the summer as well. Obviously, Antonio Valencia as well. I think he's on his way out of Manchester United as well, if I'm going to be quite honest, because obviously we opted against the decision, to give him that new 1 year contract, that new 1 year extension on his current contract. His current contract comes to an end in the summer, and of course he's out with injury for a couple of weeks as well as Antonio Valencia. Of course, he's been here since 2009, so he has been one of the longest serving players here at Manchester United as Antonio Valencia. But I think he's on his way out of Manchester United in the summer, and I do think he'll probably leave on a free transfer in the summer. Of course, he's aging up now anyway. He's 33 years of age, is Antonio Valencia, as I currently said. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not sure if Fred is a long-term solution for Manchester United, to be quite honest, because he hasn't really been that impressive. Fred, to be quite honest, considering, the injuries we've had in our midfield, it's obviously allowed more opportunities for Pereira, Fred, and McTominay and all that. As obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is currently gone with. Fred, I don't know if he's a long-term solution, because obviously, overall, he's lacked game time, and when he does get given the opportunity, in my opinion, he does fail to impress, so we don't know if he's a long-term solution, to be quite honest with you. We only got him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk for around 40 £47 million as well. So for me, I don't know if it's a long-term solution. I have been very, very impressed with Andres Pereira, to be quite honest. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Andres Pereira has been very, very impressive. He's been playing between the lines well. He's been playing them delicate passes through when he has, been playing, in the most recent games. Andres Pereira, I've been very, very impressed with him indeed. And I think he's done all right, Andres Pereira. Of course, Manchester United want to somewhere along the line, come to an agreement of getting Andres Pereira a new contract as well. Solskjaer's obviously been in discussions with Andres Pereira, regarding his Manchester United future, of course, as well. He's 23 years of age, so he is still young. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But obviously, when he went on his loan spells, to the likes of Granada and Valencia, obviously he was getting, well, in La Liga, he was obviously getting a lot more regular game time. Was Andres Pereira as well. But it's looking like now players are coming back from injury, as I said. We saw Matic is now back from injury. Martial's now back from injury, as I said, which is very, very good indeed. Martial's now back, which is essential. And I think, there's talk saying that Mata could be in contention, to feature against Wolves, so that's good news. Maybe Herrera could have a chance as well. So obviously now this means with midfielders coming back into contention, obviously that Fred won't obviously get as much of an opportunity, Pereira won't get as much as an opportunity, and Scott McTominay won't get as much as an opportunity, because obviously the main midfield trio Solskjaer has been going with is obviously been Pogba, Matic, and Herrera, of course, as well. But we do know, obviously, there's still some contracts to sort out, as we all currently know. I'll give you a bit of an update in relation to David De Gea. Reports are still saying that Manchester United are not willing to meet what currently David De Gea is demanding, reportedly. Because David De Gea reportedly is demanding, this is David De Gea. David De Gea is demanding that I think he wants to be the highest paid player at Manchester United alongside Alexis Sanchez. This is what David De Gea is demanding. So I think he's looking in the excess of around £400,000 a week. This is what David De Gea is demanding that he currently wants. Reportedly, Manchester United are not willing to meet what he's currently demanding, David De Gea, of course, as well. But Solskjaer did say, quite a while back, he was still confident and he was still convinced that David De Gea will sign a new contract at Manchester United, of course, because obviously he's still under contract here at least until the summer of 2020, because obviously last year Manchester United activated a 12-month extension on his current contract as well. I know, David De Gea's happy here. I think he's committed his long-term future with Manchester United, to be quite honest with you, as David De Gea. He's been here a number of years now. He has been here, since 2011. This is what his 7th, 8th season now is with Manchester United, or something like that. And his progression's been fantastic over the years, as David De Gea, to be quite honest with you. And since he's been here, he's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. He's obviously made 100 Premier League clean sheets now, as well as David De Gea, which is very, very good indeed. Of course, he's won everything here as well in terms of silverware in England, especially as David De Gea, and he's won the Club's Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons, and we have got the best out of him out of the years he's been here. He has been here since the Alex Ferguson era as well. But De Gea, what he's saying is he wants to be the best. He wants to be the best played player and the highest paid player at Manchester United alongside Alexis Sanchez, and obviously wants to be one of the best played players in the Premier League as well, does David De Gea. But Manchester United reportedly are not willing to meet what he's demanding at the moment as well. So this is why there's been problems of coming to an agreement on it as well. Anything else? We haven't heard much about Marcus Rashford lately in terms of his new contract term as well. The last time I heard about Marcus Rashford, that reportedly, this was before the Liverpool game, it indicated that he was on the verge of signing a new 6-year deal with Manchester United, of course, as well. And I hope he does sign this new 6-year deal, because he's been a very, very consistent player for Manchester United, as Marcus Rashford, as we all currently know. He's been a United player since the age of 7. He's been in the senior squad with us since 2016. He's grown, developed, and flourished fantastically well, as Marcus Rashford. And I do think he looks more effective in a central position. I know you can operate him out wide, but I think he looks more effective in a central position, does Marcus Rashford, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But reports were saying we were on the verge of getting him a new 6-year deal. This would take him under contract till 2025. Obviously, and it'd take him to the age of 27 as well, which is very, very good news. But his current deal still ends in the summer of 2020. There's also an option of a further year as well. But, we have already sorted a lot of the contracts out, but there's still a few players, we need to to come to an agreement of getting new contracts as well. Manchester United, of course, as well. But we know we need to get back to winning ways against Wolves. It's always very, very essential, to be quite honest with you, because obviously now we've suffered our first defeat in the Premier League, and hopefully we don't lose that momentum or our confidence. As I said, we'll bounce, but I'm confident we'll bounce back, from that Arsenal defeat. Arsenal, to be fair, they've done really, really well at the Emirates Stadium this season. Overall, I'd say they just shaded the game. Arsenal, we had that, as I did say, we had our moments in the game. We had our chances in the game as well. But I do like Solskjaer. I think his character's good at Manchester United. It's good that he's giving the young players a chance as well. He did say, he was going to give everybody the chance. The young players, the fringe players, which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has currently done, as I said. But I think he suits the managerial style of the club, absolutely fantastically well, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he has brought that fear factor back. I think he shows good inspiration as well, and I think he knows what he's doing at Manchester United, of course, as well. So, obviously, we haven't got anyone, we haven't bought anybody yet, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, but we'll hopefully do that in the summer. Solskjaer will have a big say on our transfer plans in the summer as well. I've already given you my update, what the targets, Manchester United, of course, are linked to them as well. We'll discuss a bit more, some more transfer rumours later on, when I do a couple of more of my live videos as well. But yeah, reports have come out. I do want to give you an update on, as I did say at the beginning of the video, that reportedly Solskjaer is set to be confirmed. Manchester United set to be confirmed Manchester United manager on a permanent basis this month. So Manchester United do want to confirm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as permanent manager this month. So hopefully by the time we play Watford, he will be Manchester United manager permanently. Will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, which is very, very good news. Of course, as I did say, Manchester, as I forgot to mention, Manchester United obviously are going to have to pay a compensation package of around £7-8 million anyway to Mould to get him on a full-time basis, because initially at the moment we've paid £1.8 million to get Solskjaer on a temporary basis, of course, as well. So he's going to get the job on a full-time basis. Initially it did say it will be at the end of the season, but now obviously things do change of what's going on in the media, so it will be this month, I think, as it does say that Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager permanently as well. So they'll discuss this during the international break, of course, as well, and hopefully it will process during the international break, and then by the time after the international break, Solskjaer should be Manchester United manager on a full-time basis as well, which is very, very good news indeed. It is going to be a 4-year contract as well, as I did update you on, worth around 30 million. It did say bonuses are involved as well, and his annual salary is around 7.5 million a year as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do, consider subscribe as always. It's Tuesday today. With the Wolves Man United preview will probably be coming up Thursday or Friday. As I said, it'll probably be late. It'll probably be Thursday afternoon or something like that. It will be coming up, or Thursday night, because I think it's an evening kickoff on Saturday against Wolves as well. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do, consider subscribe to the channel as always. Oh yeah, and I just forgot to mention as well, the Champions League draw is on Friday as well. So I don't think I'll be live whilst the draw's getting taken. When the draw's being done, that's when I'll give you my reaction on the draw as well. So the Champions League draw is on Friday as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who Manchester United get, of course, as well. And the ties, I think, are going to be played on the 9th and 10th of April. But by the time that game comes, obviously, all our players, probably would have recovered from injury, probably besides Alexis Sanchez as well, which is very, very good news indeed. And I do believe we can win the Champions League, to be quite honest. You don't rule us out. But yeah, guys, so we'll do that reaction after that on Friday as well, because it is on Friday, the Champions League draw. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below. As I said, if you do consider subscribing to my channel as always, and take care.